Hello, everybody. This is Sharonda, and this is my podcast, my new podcast that I started on yesterday, entitled Ancient Ancestry. And in this particular podcast, I go over the history of many of the ancient cultures, primarily in the African culture. And I would discuss topics in regards to the customs, traditions, the many gods and goddesses that encompasses a lot of the mythologies. So today we're going to focus on deities. Um, and let me proceed with that information. Today is Friday, which is December the 24th, and we're going to start off with what is the definition of a deity or deities. Okay, so as defined here, it says it's a god or goddess. Um, it's simply that, a god or goddess. Now, let me go a little bit more into what I want to speak on in terms of deities. And we're going to um, focus on Egyptian deities. Because as I mentioned, I will be going over in this particular podcast different customs, traditions, and cultures, but the focus primarily are going to be on the ancient African Egyptian deities, okay? So give me just a moment while I proceed with that information that I have listed here. Okay. So it mentions that ancient deities represent natural and social phenomena as well as abstract concepts. These gods and goddesses appear in virtually every aspect of ancient Egyptian civilization, and more than 1,500 of them are known by name. So you have a variety of deities. If you begin to do some research on deities, they may only list a few. There are many deities out there, um, you know, depending on which custom or culture that you are doing some research on. Um, so of course, with the countless a number of deities, I'm not going to be able to go over all of those, but what I will do is go over the major and minor ones as they have listed here, and then I will let you know the ones that I particularly favor. Okay, so many Egyptian texts mention deities' name without indicating their character or role, while other texts refer to specific deities without even stating their names. So who's to say how many they are, but you do have some that's more or less of a feminine quality, and then you have your deities that are more or less more of your masculine quality. So we're going to go over the major deities now, and the focus on these deities here are male related. So we have Akir, and if I don't pronounce the words correctly, do bear with me with that, okay? It says Akir, the god of earth and the horizon. We have a moon, Amun, a creative god, patron deity of the city of Thebes or Thebes, and the preeminent deity in Egypt during the New Kingdom. We have in here a god of war and hunting, Anubis, god of the dead, carries the dead to the judgment place of the underworld, Aten or Atun, sun dish deity, who becomes the focus of the monolatrous or monotheistic Antinous belief system in the reign of Akhenaten. We have Atun, a creator god and solar deity, first god of the Ennead, Ennead, Bennu, a solar and creator deity depicted as Iran. We have Geb or Jeb, a earth god and member of the Ennead. Hapi or Happy, personification of the Nile flow. Horus, a major god, usually shown as a falcon or as a human child, linked with the sky, the sun, kingship, protection, and healing, often said to be the son of Osiris and Isis. Okay, we have Khepri, a solar creative god, often treated as the morning form of Ra and represented by a scarab beetle. We have Kinnum or Kinmu, a ram god, the patron deity of Elephantine, who was said to control the Nile flood and give life to gods and humans. We have Khonsu, a moon god, son of Amun and Mut. Mahis, also referred to as Mahas, the lion god, son of Bastet. Montu, the god of war and the sun, worshipped at Thebes or Thebes. Nefertum, god of lotus blossom, from which the sun god rose at the beginning of time, son of Patal and Sekhmet. Nepti, falcon god, worshipped in Middle Egypt, who appears in myth as a ferryman or greater gods. Okay, Nippur, the god of grain, Osiris, god of the dead, and resurrection, who rules the underworld and enlivens vegetation, the sun god, and deceased souls. So Osiris is a god that I'm very familiar with. Ptah, the creator deity and god of craftsmanship, the patron of god of Memphis. Ra, the sun god. Set, the ambivalent god, characterized by violence, chaos, and strength, connected with the desert, mythological murder of Osiris, and enemy of Horus, but also a supporter of the king. Then we have Shu, embodiment of wind or air, a member of the Ennead. Sobek, crocodile god, worship in the Fayum and at Kam Umbo. Satu, a god of the sky in Egypt's eastern border regions. We have Thoth, moon god, and a god of writing and scribes, and patron deity of Hermopolis. And I believe that I have been visited by this particular god because oftentimes you begin, if you're someone who has been very crafty in poetry, story writing, novels, any type of writing skills. This god here thought so, and let me actually put this in because I found that to be very that's a very significant name. So I'm going to proceed to put that name in, and we're going to get the pronunciation of that name now. Let's see. Okay, let's go back. And because I'm just trying to focus on one thing and it's taking me to all this other stuff, and I just need to get the pronunciation of that name. Okay, so let's see. And I think I'm going to bookmark this website. And for those who I'm on howtopronounce.com. And that might be a good website to keep on your bookmark if you're needed to bookmark information and names and how to pronounce, okay? So let's see. Let's go back because I just clicked off on something else. Okay, okay. So, okay. Okay, so getting back. So Thoth, a moon god and a god of writing and scribes, and patron deity of Hermopolis. Okay. Then we have Wajwer, personification of the Mediterranean Sea or lakes of the Nile Delta. Okay. So those are the major deities, and we are focusing on ancient Egyptian mythology, okay? So we're going to proceed with the female major deities now. We have Amunet, which is female counterpart of Amun, and a member of Ogdod. And Nuket, a feathered headdress wearing goddess of Egyptian southern frontier regions, particularly the lower cataracts of the Nile. Bastet, goddess represented as a cat or lioness, patroness of the city of Bubastis, linked with protection from evil. So for those out there that may feel like they're under some type of, demonic attack, she may be a best god to pay homage to. And let me pull up the pronunciation of that god. So it's Bastet. And we're going to proceed with that now. Okay, so Bastet, okay, but cow god from early in Egyptian history, eventually absorbed by Hathor. Okay, and so we're going to proceed to Hathor, or one of the most important goddesses linked with the sky, the sun, sexuality, and motherhood, music and dance, foreign lands and goods, and the afterlife, one of many forms of I-Ra. So this particular god sounds similar to the Oshun deity. Okay, we have Hametet, fish god, Heket, fraud goddess, said to protect women in childbirth. Heset, a maternal cow goddess. We have Imentet, an afterlife goddess closely linked with Isis and Hathor. Isis, wife of Osiris and mother of Horus, linked with funerary rites, motherhood, protection, and magic. She became a major deity in Greek and Roman religion. Mot, goddess who personified truth, justice, and order. Menhet, a lioness goddess. Mut, consort of Amun, worshipped by Thebes. And we have this one here, which is, I'm going to put this in on how to pronounce this word. It is Nieth. So we're going to proceed with this word. We're going to get the pronunciation of this word, of this particular goddess. Neith. So the goddess Neith is a creator and hunter goddess, patron of the city of Sais in Lower Egypt. We have Nekbet, a vulture goddess, the tutelary deity of Upper Egypt. We have Nephthys or Nephthys, a member of the Ennead, the consort of Set, who mourn Osiris alongside Isis. Nepet, a goddess of grain, female counterpart of Nefer. Nut or Nut, a sky goddess, a member of the Ennead. Paket, a lioness goddess mainly worshipped in the area around Beni Hassan. Renetet, and let me put this one in as well because this is a word that I don't know. And so we're going to proceed to put that word in as well, and we're going to get the definition. Renenutet. Okay, Renenutet, a agricultural goddess. Satet, Sayet, a goddess of Egyptian southern frontier regions. Sekhmet, a lioness goddess, both destructive and violent, and capable of warding off disease, protector of the pharaohs who led them in war, the consort of Patal, and one of many forms of the Eye of Ra. And so we're going to, not to go too far off topic, I'm going to research what the Eye of Ra is because it has come up twice. Okay, so it's a symbolization. The meaning behind the Eye of Ra, and it says Ra is undoubtedly the most important deity of ancient Egypt. He was considered to be the creator of the universe, god of sun in Egyptian mythology. He is the originator of life, light, and heat. He is the king of all gods of Egypt. So that's pretty much what that is. Tefnut, goddess of moisture and a member of the Ennead. Wajet, a cobra goddess, the tutelary deity of Lower Egypt. Worsret, a goddess of deaths. So we have here the deistic god deities, both male and female form. We have Anubis and Put, the god and goddess of embalming and protector of the dead. Hay, personification of infinity and a member of the Old Dode. We have Kek, the god of chaos and darkness, as well as being the concept of primordial darkness. Ket's female form is known as Kakut. So I, to get a little bit more in details in terms of, the duality, I feel as though these are gods that you can, if you are paying homage to these gods, it expands your ability to see things from a like two viewpoints or two perspectives into one, kind of in a sense like yin yang type of energy fields where you're able to see things outside of just one viewpoint. Okay, so we're going to proceed to Nun, personification of the formless, watery disorder from which the world emerged at creation and member of the old Dode. Let me put that word in because that has come up a couple of times. OGDOAD. I'll do it. Okay, of the Adoed. Then we have Ra, the foremost Egyptian sun god involved in creation and the afterlife, mythological ruler of the gods, father of every Egyptian king, and the patron god of Heliopolis. And Tantinin, personification of the first mound of earth to emerge from chaos in ancient Egyptian creation myths. So we're going to go to the minor deities, and it goes a little farther. I mean, there's, tons and tons and tons and tons of gods. Okay, I mean, countless, countless, countless. Who knows? You know, I think it depends on where you're getting your information. That's why, it has to be some type of commonplace or common point in regards to the information that is being presented on the World Wide Web. And this is why we have certification and licensing of information, because a lot of this information could be duplicate or even replicated information, okay? So with the minor deities, we have male. We have Ani, a protector, 8-headed god. Ati, one of the 42 judges of the souls of the dead. Abu, Abu was an early Egyptian god of light that was likely worshipped in the city of Elephantine, and that has come up twice. So let me make sure I am pronouncing that word correctly. And I will proceed. Elephantine. He, a dangerous underwater or underworld god, Amenhotep, the second king of the 18th dynasty, deified. Amenhotep, son of Hapu, a scribe and architect in the court of Amenhotep III, later deified for his wisdom. Amu-A, a god who accompanies Osiris during the second hour of the night. And Naphith, one of the 42 judges of souls of the dead. And Hetep, one of the 42 judges of the souls of the dead. And it just goes on and on. We have Amut and Chir, okay? And Jedi, and let me put that word in and see. For this particular deity, that's Andjety, and let's get the pronunciation. So that god is of the ninth nome of Upper Egypt.
Andjety.
Ani, the god of festivals. Anti, a hawk god of Upper Egypt. And Pedemek, a warlike lion god of Nubia, who appears in some Egyptian-built temples and lower, Nubia. A Pep or a Peep, a serpent deity who personified malevolent chaos and who is said to fight Ra in the underworld every night. So that could be, a demonic particular deities, something that is not of a favorable or a good cause. We have Apesh or Apesh, and let me put this word in and make sure I'm pronouncing that deity correctly. Apish, a turtle god. Apis, a live bull worshipped as a god at Memphis and seen as a manifestation of Ptah. And let me make sure I am pronouncing Ptah correctly. That is Ptah. I'm assuming that is Ptah.
Ta.
Okay, Ta. Okay. Okay, so we have Arenisphus, a Nubian deity who appears in Egyptian temples in Lower Nubia in the Greco-Roman era. Asclepius, a Greek god worshipped in Egypt at, looks like Saqqara. Let me make sure I'm pronouncing that word correctly. These, just a moment.
Ares Nubis.
Ares Nubis. Okay, and let's get this god in here.
Asclepius.
Asclepius, a Greek god worshipped in Egypt at Saqqara. And let me make sure I'm pronouncing that word correctly as well.
Saqqara.
Saqqara. Okay. Ash, the god of Liberian or Libyan desert and Os west of Egypt. Astenu, a baboon god associated with Thoth. Ba, a god of fertility. Then you have Ba Ra, Baal, sky and storm god from Syria and Canaan, worship in Egypt during the New Kingdom. We have Babi, which is a baboon god characterized by sexuality and aggression. Banabet, okay, I cannot pronounce that word. There's a lot of words going on here, so let's just put it in here, and then we can go from there.
Banagetic.
Banagetic. Okay, so Banagetic, a ram god, patron of the city of Mendes, by Peeth, a little known underworld deity, ram-headed god of the 8th hour. Best, it says is a patropiac god represented as a dwarf, particularly important in protecting children and women in childbirth. Bushis, a live bull god, worshipped in the region around Thebes, and a manifestation of Montu. Now let me make sure I'm pronouncing that word correctly, because I can call it, is it Thebes or Thebes? It's a city.
Theba.
Theba. Okay. Bushis or Busis, a live bull god worship in the region of around Thebes. Okay. Dendon, a Nubian god said to provide the Egyptians with incense and other resources that came from Nubia. Dinwin, a serpent and dragon god. And we have one here that I'm not going to even try to pronounce. It's not even pulling up. It's not even pulling up. So I'm going to just assume that that is Jebi, Tulare, god of Jeba. Jepha, god of abundance. Dionysus, Osiris, a life, death, rebirth god. Dual, god of toiletry and sanitation. Fa, the god of destiny. Betket, a butler of Ra. Genjin, were a celestial goose god. who guarded the celestial egg containing the life force. Ha, a god of the Libyan desert and Osis west of Egypt. Hapi, uh, son of Horus, and let me make sure I'm pronouncing that correctly because that has come up a couple of times as well. Hapi. Hapi. Okay, so Hapi, son of Horus. Hapi, wait, let me see. Hapi. Let's see how to pronounce this word. Okay, Happy Vet. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce that. God of the Nile in heaven. Death, son of King Khufu, who was deified after death because he wrote a book considered to be the work of a god. Harmachis, a Sphinx god, Harsuntus, the child god of Edfu, Haran or Harun, a protector and healing god, originally a Canaanite god. Heka, personification of magic. Heneb, a god of grain. Pinki Susi, god of the east wind. Heraku, a god of the fifth division of Tuat. Perisha Duat, underworld god in charge of the fields of Tuat. Perishath, ram god worship in Heraculapolis Magna, who personification of the authority of the spoken word. I mean, I'm not going to go over all of these gods because it's quite a bit of gods here. It really are. So I'm going to those were the minor male gods. I'm just going to touch on a couple of the minor female gods. Eshna, a divine perch. We have Vesna, goddess of home security. Let's see. King, goddess, and that's Ken, goddess of love. Maret, the goddess of music, who established cosmic order. And let me put this word in. Looks like pelican.
Pelican.
Pelican, the goddess of the dead. Correct, goddess of the underworld. We have Themei, and let me put that in, is Thmei.
Sir Tom Themei.
Themei, Themei, goddess of truth. And we have a dual deistic God in reference to the name. And let me put that name in and see what it mentions. The pronunciation is
Shine.
Shai, personification of fate. Okay, so those are some of the gods in regards to ancient Egyptian mythology. Just to name a list uh, of the deities. The list goes on and on and on. Let's see. So I want to go a little bit more on out of all of the lists. I'm going to go a little bit more details in Osiris. Okay, so it's the god of fertility, agriculture, the afterlife, the dead, resurrection, life, and vegetation in ancient Egyptian religion. He was classically depicted as a green-skinned deity with a pharaoh's beard, partially mummy, wrapped at the legs, wearing a distinct teeth crown, and holding a symbolic crook or flail. He was one of the first to be associated with the mummy wrap. When his brother Set cut him up into pieces after killing him, Isis, his wife, found all the pieces and wrapped his body up, enabling him to return to life. Isis was, Osiris was at times considered the eldest son of the earth god Jeb and the sky goddess Nut, as well as being brother and husband of Isis, with Horus being considered his posthumously begotten son in Old Kingdom, 2686 through 2181 BC. The pharaoh was considered a son of the sun god Ra, who, after his death, ascended to join Ra in the sky. With the spread of the Osiris cult, however, there was a change in beliefs. He was also associated with the epithet Kenti Amenti, meaning foremost of the Westerners, a reference to his kingship in the land of the dead. Though syncretism with Aya is also a god of moon. So it goes a little bit extensive into the life of this particular god, but I do feel like he was a very powerful god, as mentioned here. So I'm going to close out this presentation in regards to the deities, and I thank you for tuning in. Have a safe and wonderful day. Good day.